All right, morning. Welcome live from Mount Kosciuszko. Not Mount Kosciuszko. I'm on the Kosciuszko Express, Mount Krakenbach, just heading up. And as you can see, much the same as it has been for the last couple of days. Apparently they had about 3 centimeters of snow overnight, which is pretty awesome. Hamish, my son, and myself have been lapping. My wife is currently up in the basin and meeting my sister and her husband shortly for a couple of laps. So they have much younger kids. They drive the cost of skiing up considerably. Babysitters, ski school, all that sort of stuff. Different problems. 2 of my kids just refusing to get out of bed and come up. So hopefully we'll see them later in the day. But I want to continue on this book that I've been reading, The Now Habit, and very interesting. So yesterday we were talking about the unschedule, where we're putting in the good things in the week, fun times, transport times, things that are already scheduled in, but making sure that fun is in there, enjoyment is in there, including this very interesting idea for me to have 1 day a week doing no work. So the next chapter after that one opened up this idea of flow state. Now, flow state has been a passion of mine for many, many, many years. I believe the first book written about it that I'm aware of was in 1973 by Mihaly. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. I'm sorry. It is a long Czechoslovakian name. It's very difficult. But if you look up Mihaly and flow, you'll find this book called Flow from 1973. And then it shows up again in another book that I read called The Art of Impossible. And he broke it down. That one was Stephen Kotler, who treated chronic fatigue syndrome by surfing, and surfing would give him energy. He would enter into the flow state and then he'd be exhausted for several days, but then went back skiing and dialed in flow state to having 4 stages. Now, once again, it shows up in this art of treating procrastination, and this has been a bugbear of mine for many years. Very difficult, mainly because of like the ideas that they discuss of how it developed. I could definitely see that happened to me, whereby ever more work is required to achieve higher and higher. Eventually it's like, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to give myself an out, a procrastination technique, and do everything last minute. And that's very much been my life. In fact, I even went past that, which was not very wise, and started skipping out on deadlines and found that the world does not end. It's incredible that the world does not end if I do not do a lot of things. Now, it does have consequences, there's no doubt about that, but the sun still comes up and all that sort of stuff. So, but the interesting idea out of all of this was that he was like, look, if you're a procrastinator, you need to become a producer. And we're going to set you up for 30 minutes of work, but before you work, to do a meditation. Now, I've been meditating since 2007, so quite a long time. And it's a simple 2-minute meditation, but breathing exercises. And the interesting thing to me, gee, it's bright. Oh my goodness, it's so bright out here. Was that the purpose was to let go of the past, let go of the future, come to the present, and then having 1 or 3 endings for the meditation, depending on what's going to happen. And then spending this 2 minutes before entering into the 30-minute work period. And I'm like, well, this actually is pretty good. If I combine this with the idea that I'm going to have 4 hits out of the door, which is by Wake Up Warrior. So one of the Warrior system is the code, the stack, the core, the door, and the game. The door has a number of hits that you take out every day. So 4 things. I'm like, you know what? If I could just do half an hour on those 4 things and use this anti-procrastination, I'm a producer, and this could actually really help change my life. Now, my life's pretty good. I'm obviously skiing right now, but it does have some problems. And I've been having a really interesting experience reviewing what the heck I've been up to. It's like waking up one day, suddenly I've got a 15-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 9-year-old, been a GP for a long time, I'm an acupuncturist, and then I've done all this sort of becoming a producer, entrepreneur. Now, I'm not the greatest entrepreneur. There are far better entrepreneurs, but I have realized that I'm very broad in my ability to speak on Western medicine, Eastern medicine, business, production, and I feel like there's some kind of synthesis that's going to go on. I'm not aware of it, but I'm like, dear God, can you please let me know what the heck is going on? And God's like, will you just be patient and wait? And I'm like, And my wife asked me a very difficult question. She's like, well, Tom, what do you want to do for the next 20 years? And part of me is just like, well, I definitely want to go to Hawaii twice a year. And that opened up into another discussion, like, well, I could actually even live in Hawaii. That's got its own challenges. I'm not a US citizen, but living in Hawaii could work for me. One of the advantages is in the Northern Hemisphere. You can fly from Hawaii to ski fields that are typically really good. Hit Colorado, Canada, Japan, there's lots of amazing ski fields. So living at the beach, living in tropical paradise, but also having access to great skiing, I was like, hey, this could work. This could work. We could rent out our house in Byron, get pretty good money for that. Obviously, it's Byron Bay, and almost semi-retire. But I don't know if that's really what's going to happen. I'm very suspicious of this. I'd be very surprised if suddenly I just get away with being able to semi-retire. But we'll see how it plays out. In the meantime, still putting together how to make my life really work. And I'm feeling like some more acupuncture is probably where I need to go. Right now, 1 day a week, expanding that out to 2 days, 3 days would potentially allow me to drop a little bit of GP, which I don't know where you're at, but certainly GP does not really thrill me as much as it used to. Alright, that's all I got for you guys. I hope you're having an awesome day, hitting the top of the lift. Catch you soon.